Good morning. Hello, everyone. My name is Hafiz Ahmed Hassan, and I am creating the playlist for deep learning for absolute beginners. How to get start with how to get start with deep learning or machine learning, and how to. This session is about how to run the code and what I'm mainly focus on fast AI library. So what fast AI is? Let's search about this. What fast AI is? It's a kind of library to develop deep learning applications, and it is developed by Jeremy Howard, and it was founded on 2016. And don't worry if you don't know anything about Python, if you don't know anything about deep learning, so don't worry about this. We are in this playlist, we are gonna focus on how to get start with this, and you don't need to worry about anything. Uh, so this lecture number one, which is lesson zero, I will introduce you what Kaggle is. And the Kaggle is a kind of, you can think of Kaggle is uh, a social media for uh, deep learning engineers, for data scientists, for machine learning engineers. So I will introduce this, and I will introduce how to create applications, how to get started. So what you need to do is just watch this lecture from beginning to end. And along with this lecture, I have created a tutorial to how to create your first application for deep learning. And what I'm gonna introduce you is, so this fast AI is having the first version was published on 2017. There are like different versions, and every version have different applications um, of deep learning and different way to write the code. And we will see the latest version is obviously 2022, and we will see how we can convert the application design of 2017 to 2022. Don't worry if you don't understand it. I will gonna show you the practical example, and we will set up using Kaggle, and we will resolve if there will be any kind of errors. One important thing is, this is a kind of caution. Keep in the mind that uh, fast using FastAI library, and the notebooks which will gonna run on the Kaggle platform, it allows you to run your applications, your creation of the code to use GPU, actually, the graphical processing unit. GPU is used for developing deep learning applications. So it will allow users to use this resource for 35 hours per week. So this is a caution for you. And keep in mind, if you are developing an application, um, and you are using this resource to develop it, keep in mind that you need to close the session in order to avoid the overuse of time. Uh, the next thing is about the references. I have created, so this is my medium.com platform, and this is my profile, and I have created this uh, page for you, and it is about like on 2022, uh, what are the resources available for this version of the course, and for 2021 version, what are the other resources and what people have published, the kind of blogs. So there is a YouTube link. uh, there is a one professor who have created this book, uh, using fastai, how to develop the different kind of applications. Maybe the next version of this course will be with this book, how we can develop the different kind of applications. We will focus on developing that. Um, so there are other links as well. So feel free to click on these links and read the blogs. And so these are like with the different, as I said, as I mentioned before, that these links are I have mentioned over here, uh, are being published for uh, uh, with the different variants in the different years. So for example, if we go through this link, which is published on 2022, um, somebody have created did the experiment developing the applications for our detection system, anomaly detection system. Maybe, I think I didn't go through that, using chest X-ray images. With this data, he or she has published, like this person has published, um, how to detect pneumonia with chest X-ray images, and this person have used FastAI library uh, to develop this application. So he has mentioned the code as well, and he showed how he has done this project. And feel free to go through that project and develop it by yourself. Um, and there is a version 3 of Fast AI. The current version is version 4, I think. And so there are like different links. Feel free to go through to watch these versions and to watch the variants based upon different years. And 3 years ago, somebody has published, for example, this on Kaggle, uh, and he created a step-by-step guide using Fast AI. And this one is the old version, but this version is about use of the latest uh, uh, library design, and we will see how we can use this library and we can develop our own application on Kaggle the same way people have done in 3 years ago, the different variants. And this is 4 years ago somebody has done this, and this is the machine learning course, and this person has created uh, a lesson for that. And just we can go through how he has created. So this is the code, and we can go through how somebody have uh, created this code along the documentation of this code in the previous years. So so what are the highlights of this lecture? So we will actually see the link. We have already seen the link and the summary. I have showed you the summary of these uh, this link, this medium.com link, and for each year, uh, what people have contributed using Kaggle platform, and what people have, what kind of applications people have published. And every year there are like different kind of settings. For example, the experimental environment settings for each year, there were like different way to develop a code, to design a code, and to uh, create the applications of deep learning. And also we will get start with the we will do the setups of the different version. We will go through all the variants, not just with 2022. We will go through the version 2018, and we will see how what was the design of the code, and we will map this version to the latest year 2022. And if you want to see the original course, The original course of the latest version is this one, and you can read this course. And this one is Jeremy Howard, who have created this fastai library. And this one is the 20 version, and these are the lessons, and these are the links where he showed how to how to get start with the code, and using different platforms, the platform Gradient, SageMaker. These are the different, like the same like Kaggle, the different platforms to develop the applications and write the code and create a documentation. So there were like different uh, full link Linux servers as well. You can use Amazon Web Service, datacrunch.io. So these were the different platforms where they give you a virtual kind of PC, virtual kind of platform where, like for example, the same kind of platform in which you are having your virtual window or your virtual operating system. And in this operating system, uh, create you will set up your environment to create different kind of applications of fast AI. The hierarchy, so these are like kind of deployment platforms of your deep learning application or machine learning applications. You can use these. You can read about this later on. So these are the different versions. So as I said, that the first one was published on 2017. So this was the uh, earlier version, and this one is the latest version. And we will gonna go through for each version how what were the changes. For example, in 2017, what was the code design, and what were the changes on 2018, and what were latest changes. We will go through that. Don't worry about this. And we will create one application with you will create an application with me. So don't worry about if you don't understand it right now. You will gonna understand it later on. So first of all, what you need to do is you have to create a Kaggle account. This is the first step. So what you this is for you. What you need to do is go to the kaggle.com and register yourself over here. I have already registered myself. You can register it using Google and register, for example, register with the Google, put your email and everything. Make sure the next thing is make sure like you have verified your account through mobile. This is important. And the next thing is make sure the time you are using for session for creating your application. So for example, after creation of the application, just close the session. And the next thing is for the versions from 2020 to 2022 are the kind of same versions and the same way to design the code. And first we will gonna we will go through to the version 2022, and this is the link which is the example of the lesson 1 code, the example of kind of code which is used to detect the bird using fast AI. And if you click through that link, there is a sample code over here. So this one, if you go through that link, so let's go through let's summarize what is over here a bit. And this, if you see that link, so this link is, there are like kind of comments over here. If you see the hashtags, and there are something text over here, so these are the kind of comments about the each cell. For example, uh, this cell, they have mentioned it what this cell is doing, what the code is over here. The code starts from here to here. What they are saying is, this code verifies if you have verified your number in Kaggle account, and verifies if you are using the GPU or not. If you haven't done, if you are not using your GPU, and if you have not verified your phone number, this cell will give an error. And the next cell, the same uh, comments, it will tell about, it will show the description of this cell, and this cell is installing something, so you have to just ignore it what it is doing. This one is actually setting up the environment. So if you don't know about what an environment is, what you can do is, you can what are you can write on the Google, what are environment settings for Python. So you can see environment variables are variables you store outside of your program. So it is like kind of what is environment setup in Python. The Python of your document says that a virtual environment is a Python environment such that Python interpreter libraries scripts installed to it. It is the kind of same, the same kind of thing. For example, you want to use a video editor. So for the video editor, you have to install something. You have to install the application. The same way, the environment setting is the installation of your uh, the setup like you require to run the application. The next thing is, this is also a setup. You have to run it, and it is creating. Uh, so these are the functions, and then there were like kind of search of if there is a bird photos over there, and it contains the URL from the web. So there is a URL for bird photos. The URL at 0th position has this link, and it is like kind of downloading. It has downloaded, actually this library has downloaded all the links. And the next thing is, so there were like kind of one photo which is having this name bird.jpg, and it is showing the URL of that, just downloading that, the URL for the what is URL is the link for this image, and then we are showing that image, what this image is. And on the same way, we are downloading the forest images as well, and we are showing the forest images as well. Well, we will what we will gonna do is, we will create a bird detection system, a kind of classifier, and you don't need to worry about what this code is doing. We will, this notebook, this lecture is about just to get started, just to run the code. So we are just running the code. We are not learning about what this each line is doing. We will learn about this in the later lectures. We will deep dive to the code later on. So let's have a break, and we will continue after 5 minutes. So take a So welcome back, everyone. We are continuing where we left 5 minutes ago. Um, And I just before that I just summarized what the code looks like, and this you can go through this notebook. This notebook is, you can click on this link and you can click on edit this notebook, and in this way you can see what Kaggle notebooks look like. And what I want you is to create a new notebook. So you will have this icon first of all, and in this icon you will see the new notebook. So in this way you will create a notebook for you, so which would be a brand new version of the notebook. So once you will have this new notebook in your session, in your Kaggle profile, you will click here to choose if you want to use GPU Tesla 4 or P100. So I will use this one, and make sure the language you are using is Python. And I will delete first of all this cell over here, and then I will click on Markdown. On the Markdown, uh, I will put the hashtag, and I will write this is my first Kaggle notebook. And you will press Shift and Enter to publish it. And the next thing is, this one would be a kind of code. So when you will click on the code, you will see a new cell where you can write a Python code. So this is my first cell. As this one is my first cell, what I can do is, so the first code I will write is uh, this one, which will verify my Kaggle account. If my Kaggle account is, this code checks if my Kaggle account is verified through a mobile or not. And I will copy it and I will paste it over here. And as I said before, like, these 3 lines are the comments. And if I will run this cell, I can run this cell here by clicking on here, and it will run it. And this cell has been run, so this one is the cell number 1, and it hasn't shown any kind of error. And then the next cell is like setting up the environment. I will just copy paste this one to this first Kaggle notebook, and I will run it over here. And the next cell is again this one. I will copy paste it. I will create um, so this one is the second one, and this one is the third cell. I will run it by clicking either here or Shift plus Enter in your PC. Okay. And again I'm copy pasting. Oh, okay. So this is the cell number 3, and it gives me the output over here about this cell. So this it is giving me some error. The output of this cell contains some error, so ignore it, what it is. So this is just installation of our notebook. Okay, so this first 2 lines, this line and the second one line is importing the libraries. So these are just like importing libraries. You have to write it, and you don't need to know like why you are doing this. We will learn about this later in the lectures. And this one is the function of Python. What this function does is it will you will pass any kind of uh, name, for example bird, for example forest, to this function, and this function returns you the list of links with this search. We will use this function and you will see the practical example. And this function usually contains the images links. Uh, so for example, this is one of the example. So just ignore this line, what this line does. For example, my uh, search, I want to download a bird image which will have this name bird.jpg. And what I can do is, I want to use this function search images. So search images, I'm using this function and I'm passing the query. I want bird photos and the maximum photos I want is one. Okay. So so it will return the link. So I will use this function and it will return me a link, a URL link. And the zero means like I'm accessing the first link. If it will be, I can download two images, I can download three images. By default, if I will not pass anything over here, the number of images, it will download 200 images by default. By default, if you will not specify what number of images you want, it will download 200 images for you. So 200 URL links. So in my case, I want to download only one image. So I will have just one URL. So if I will click on this URL, it will show me the image it has downloaded from from uh, Google or from search engines. Well, so the next thing is I will pass this URL and I will rename this image, which will be a bird.jpg, and I want to see the progress of downloading that images through this link. I got the links, and then through these links I will use these links and I will download an image. And what these three lines are doing is, first it is importing, you have to ignore this one, and the next thing is um, it is I'm passing this image path to image.open and it is downloading an image for me. It is creating an image for me. So you just need to understand it is like kind of object. It returns me a image as an object, and through this line I will see what image looks like. Okay, so I will enter here and I can see through this line, executing this line, I will see, okay, I have this image in this variable img. You can see in a directory by clicking over here. So there is Kaggle working directory over here, and you have used 360 KB, and you have downloaded bird.jpg image, and you use these images. You store this image in img variable. Okay, so let's have a look to uh, next thing, which is downloading the forest image. Now I'm downloading forest. What you can do is you can write markdown and you can write, okay, you can make a heading, I am downloading forest image. In this way you will download this forest image, forest photos. You have passed this forest photos, and the maximum number of photos you want is the one, and it is at the 0th position. You will the download, it will contain the link, and with this it has renamed that image to forest.jpg. You can rename it to uh, another image as well. This is the file name of the image, of the one image I want. And the show progress in this case today is um, now is false, so I will not see this one, this search bar. And I will not see this progress bar now because this one is the false, and then I will see what forest image look like with this line. So you will pass the same name of the file here, and it will show you, this cell will show you how this image will look like. You can see, okay, you have the forest image now with you in a directory, or in your data directory. And the next thing is, what I'm doing is I'm gonna create a list, a directory which will contain further subdirectories, forest and bird, further folders, and each folder will contain the photos. So I will gonna uh, reduce the sleep time, which is 5, like it will reduce, um, and what I will change over here is the maximum photos now I want is not 200. I will change it to 50/50. Let's do it 50. Okay, and I will rerun this cell. Okay, and now I will download all the images here, forest and bird images, and I will have, in the result, after running this cell, in the result I will have a directory, a main directory, which is bird, or not, which has this name, and this directory will contain another two directories, forest and bird images, and each of this directory will contain 50 images of different types, 50 images of just a normal image, bird image, bird photos, bird sun photos, bird shade photos, 50, 50, 150 images. So I will have total downloaded images, 50 here, 50 here, and 50 here. um, the next thing, so this is a loop. Actually, if you don't know about the programming, this is the loop. So O in the searches means, so first of all, this O will contain in the first iteration, this O will contain forest, a name forest, and it create a path over here, and then it create directory for that, and it downloaded images for forest. In the next iteration, number 2, I will have the bird in that case. So O will be renamed to bird, and it will create a directory contains bird, and each bird have different kind of like downloaded images. So you can print the output what O is, so by writing this one, if you want to see what O is, this is my O, and so you can type this if you want in your to see the output of the cell. So in your directory, after running this cell, you will have bird or not, this directory. And the next thing is you have uh, this forest, this bird and forest directory, and each of the directory contains the images. Forest and bird contain images, so you will have the images. So it is not so you can see these are the list of images which has been downloaded. The next thing is what we are going to do is we will verify if all the images are valid by running this cell. You can write this cell. This cell is verifying my directory. So my path was what? So my path was bird or not. So this is verifying my paths. This one, same variable. So if you can see this one, and you're just verifying everything inside that path. And the next thing is we have to create a data block. So don't worry what data block is. You don't need to learn about what this is in this moment. We're gonna see this in the next in the further later tutorials. And then this is our classifier, this cell. So it is showing me a batch first of all. So each batch contains bird and forest images, and maximum number of images are 6 over here. So now I'm building a classifier, creating a model. So I'm training the ResNet 10 model. It has downloaded the model name, and it is parsing the data set, the data loaders I'm having, this one. And it is training the model. And the next thing is I'm just checking how this model is working. So I'm verifying if it has trained well or not. So it is predicting, I'm passing it this image which is not used for training purposes, just this directory is used for that. And these two images are not used. These two images are used for testing. So I'm passing the bird image, and I'm checking if uh, it is a bird, or the confidence on that as well. So I'm printing the output, what my model, this learn.predict, how it will predict about the bird. So I will run this, and yes, it is predicting well. So this is a bird, this is a bird, is bird, like, and the probability of it is a bird is 1.0, so it is 100% confident. So our model is trained well. We are not gonna as we are we have the duration of this video is so long, and we are gonna continue about the further versions of how we can set up uh, so before that, what I want all of you is to close the session. So you can close the session in that way, and you have to put none over here. So in this way you are closing the session, um, and when you make sure you have click on it, none. And the next thing is okay, so next thing is what I wanted to tell you is so for 2019 setup, we will learn about this, how what was the code design for 2019 version, and what were the code designs for 2018, and further for machine learning setup. We will gonna go through this slide number 10, 11, and 12 later on. But and I will gonna uh, thank you for watching this video, and I will gonna tell you to, if you have any confusion or something, you can comment on a YouTube video comment section. There is a comment section on that. You can comment on this and I can try to answer you, or you can create uh, so this is, you can create a new topic over here, and you can use this discussion forums.fast.ai to learn about if you have any confusions. So I would really encourage you to do that. Have a good day, and if you have any queries, I'm available via YouTube comments. So